Hi everyone, Jasmine here, and I am so excited to join you guys for our last Q&A for the year. Woo! Hi again, I'm Jasmine. I've been blogging since 2011. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. So 2011, and I've loved it ever since. They say there's something that you love to do, keep doing it, and that is why I still blog. I have two blogs currently. One called Miss Millennium Magazine. That's my blog I started with all those years ago, and I still have it today. And my second is Blogging Money Life, and that's my blog I have with my husband, where we talk about our life moving from the United States to Costa Rica. We have a YouTube channel as well, and managing those two blogs is something I do part time. Full time, I am a director of content marketing. And yes, my start in blogging is what led to my career in marketing. I actually got my degree in fashion. And because of the skills I learned from my blog, I got my first job as a social media manager. And then that grew to me being a marketing coordinator, then a director of content and continuity, and going and so forth. A decade later, I'm a director of content marketing for a small organization, and I have my blog to thank for it. So I still love blogging. It's something that I love to tinker in. One of the things I do really like when it comes to blogging is that since you're working in a space where things change like all the time, whether it be a new social media channel that's come out, or something happened with Google, or just, the internet just takes a huge turn. Everyone's focusing on something brand new like AI. There's always so much stuff to learn. So I love using my blogs to learn, and I love these Q&As because then I can share what I've learned with all of you. As far as the criteria for how this Q&A works, for those of you who this may be your first time, you post your questions in the chat. I posted a little post here. Post your questions here on the little right side, and post your questions there. I'll answer them live. What I typically do is, as they come in, I'll answer them in real time. But what I also like to do is I come prepared. So when I come to these sessions, I like to bring a topic that is something that's on my mind that I want to share with everyone else, and share something that I've learned this month with you all. And if you don't know what questions to ask, usually that's a good way to spark some questions for me. Now, regardless of the topic that I decided to talk about today, that doesn't mean that I'm only taking questions about that topic. You can ask me anything from, I'm having trouble with my blog when it comes to this thing, or how do you do SEO? What's up with affiliate marketing? How do you monetize? Whatever, let me know. I've seen it all. I've been doing this for so long. I've seen it all. So yeah, and if it's something that I don't know as much, I'll let you know that. So all that said, let's jump right in. I know it's the end of the year, and this is usually a time of the year me and my blogging besties, I call them my blogging besties, that's the name of our little group chat. We have a good discussion about where we are with our blogs, what's going on with it. Do we want to do some of the same things next year? Are there things that we want to change from what we did this year? And one question we always ask ourselves is, do we still want to blog? Is this something that's still fruitful for us? Do we still feel like we're benefiting from it? And I think that's an important question to ask. Do you still want to blog, and why? Why do you want to blog? So I like to take this time to spend just recapping the year, figuring out how do we do financially. I like to learn more about what things that we try to do, what works, what didn't. And this usually gives me some insight into what I want to do for the next year. So these are all conversations I've already had with my blogging besties, and we have a call in January where we just go through like, how do we do this together? And you do that stuff on your own. And then in January, you say, okay, here's my plan for 2024. And I'm going to do this for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And I think that's just a really good exercise to go through, because you may go through the exercise and realize, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. I want to focus on gardening or some other hobby. So all that to say, this is something that I do every single year. And something that I have not done and I want to say at least 2 years in my blogging journey. The last 2 years, I have not done this, and I should be doing this. And I want to make sure that this is on other people's radars, because this topic came up during my with my blogging besties conversation, and I think it's worth discussing. Something that you should be doing at least once a year, if not at least twice. I would probably even go as far as like quarterly a year. You should do this. Do an audit of your blog business for what you're spending money on. And what do I mean by that? I mean anything that you are spending money on for a tool, a service, if you're paying someone to do certain work for you. Audit all that stuff, see what you're using, what you're not using anymore, and trim the fat. So my blog, I mean, yeah, it brings in anywhere from 5 to 10K a month. And I spend a considerable amount of money on tools. I wanted to say ballpark, I spend around $1,200 a month on just tools. And in my mind, I needed all those tools. And for all those tools, I'm either on the lowest tier for them, or I'm on the tier I can be based on how much traffic I'm bringing or whatever. Well, what I did recently is I did an audit of the tools that I'm currently using. And within me going through the audit of those tools, man, I was able to trim the fat enough to where I'm cutting back on a little over $200 a month in my blogging business. So that's $200 worth of expenses. I don't have to pay for it anymore because of this exercise. I want to talk through some of the things that changed and why this is important, because some of it's going to blow your mind. Now, like I mentioned, I've done this before, right? And sometimes I get rid of things, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I lower my tier, sometimes I need to go to a higher tier. It really just depends. But something that I did not anticipate is when you sign up for a service or a tool or whatever, those tools change over time. And sometimes that means that their prices change. They may increase the price of what they were giving you. They may send an email out. You may or may not see it that says, oh, just by the way, you're going to start paying an extra $10 a month. So things like that can happen. That's another reason why this is important. But something that happened to me, I'll give you an example. I use a service called Lead Pages. And Lead Pages is exactly what it sounds like. If you ever want to build a landing page, I highly recommend them because they're amazing. What I love about Lead Pages is that not only is it a place where if you want a landing page, not a page where people can go to your website and then they go to this page, but they can click on the categories, they can click on the sidebars. It is just there for you to send them to a product that you have. And this is nice because there's no distractions. And on top of them being able to create pages, what they also do is really excellent tracking. So you can see how many people went to that page. Out of those people who went to the page, how many of them clicked, and they're tracking your conversions. And then you can even put like, I don't know if you're sending people through Facebook or whatever. You can also make sure that you're sending people, you're getting an idea of, what was I going to say? You're getting an idea how many people are, what they're doing on the actual page. So they have really detailed reporting that you can pay attention to that will help with making sure you're getting sales. I wouldn't recommend it if you're not, I wouldn't recommend paying for it if you don't have a service or a product or something that you're selling, because that's where it will be more helpful for you. But if you do have a product or service that you're trying to sell, Lead Pages is a great, great platform. So anyway, let me grab the link for that. That's why I keep getting distracted. My apologies. This is my affiliate link for Lead Pages, but like I said, they're great if you have a product or something, you want to send people to a landing page that converts. And they have templates too. So if you're not really a super tech savvy person like myself, it's really easy, drag and drop. And I think they have a free trial if you want to check it out. That's my affiliate link there. So yes, I definitely noticed a difference with when I moved to Lead Pages versus when I was using platforms that had a free landing page tool. I saw a higher conversion rate in sales. Anyway, The whole point of me bringing up lead pages is this is one of the tools I looked at. Now, lead pages cost $79 a month. When I signed up for lead pages, that is the lowest price tier you can go to. And I know because I made sure of it. I was debating, like, do I want to pay for this? This is so expensive, but you know, it was making me money. So that's fine. Well, I go and check it out recently because I'm like, you know what, I got to do something about this. It's too expensive. And there is now a lower price tier for me to pay every month. Instead of it being $79, it's $49 a month. So, and then on top of that, based on what I'm using right now, I'm not going to even miss out on anything. That's the part that's crazy. So I keep all the services. I'm not missing out on any of the things that I have right now, and I can lower the price. So that alone just saved me $20 a month that I was paying for no reason at all. So I was frustrated because it's easy for you to think about, like, well, how many months have I been paying for this? How long have they had a lower price tier? This is why I say do this every quarter, because you don't know when they're going to change something. And if you're paying a higher price, they're not going to email you and say, hey, just so you know, like, you could be paying a lower price for the same thing that you're getting. This is something you got to do on your own. So tiers, they change. And the crazy part is lead pages was not the only tool that did this. There were other tools that I am signed up with that has a lower tier since I've signed up, that when I switched to the lower tier, it did not impact any of the things that I was using. So it's partially infuriating, but like I said, if you do it once a quarter, you don't have to worry about how much money you could possibly be missing out on. The other thing that I noticed when it came to me doing this audit was, for some of these things, I just wasn't getting as much traffic as I was before. So a good example of that is ConvertKit. I love ConvertKit. Like, if you are looking for an email provider and you don't want to have to worry about switching later down the road to a different one that's better and more robust for what you need, I just say go straight to ConvertKit, because it's just better. They do have a free version up to 1,000 subscribers. And then after that, you have to start paying. But what I love about ConvertKit is that they were made specifically for bloggers. So they kept bloggers in mind, and they have new things every single year. Like, they are always adding on and doing different things. And if I'm being perfectly honest, when I looked over ConvertKit's, here's the link for ConvertKit. When I looked over ConvertKit's offerings, some of the things they're doing, I can just eliminate other tools in general, because they have made so many different changes to their platform to make it more robust for bloggers. But what's interesting about ConvertKit is they charge you based on subscribers. When I first joined them, I had more subscribers. And the reason for that is because I was getting a lot more subscribers at the time, because I was doing this active push to get more subscribers. And then I went and cleaned it out. I sent out this whole email blast saying, like, are you still interested? Do you still want to be here? Blah, 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 blah. And I was able to get my subscriber count down to only the people who were active. What I did not do is go back to ConvertKit and say, hey, I have less subscribers now, I want to pay less. And I've been paying for an extra 2,000 subscribers I don't have anymore for several months now. So that's another one too. Like, if you're paying based on subscribers and your subscribers change, that's something else you can look out for. Just give it a check, because that's something that you don't want to have to pay extra for. Let me just get a look at my notes, because I know there are some other tools that were pretty interesting. Oh, another tool I was paying for is Adobe. Oh, I see I have some questions. So let me just take a look at what you guys are saying here. Boop, 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 boop. Jacqueline says, good morning, Jasmine. I just up for lead pages and was wonder how it are. Oh, also you were, I'm guessing that means you were looking up lead pages and trying to figure out what it was for and how they work. Yes, they still work excellent. I still get really good conversion rates on my landing pages for lead pages, and it's super easy to, like, go in and see how things are going, even if you're not super like into reporting or tech or any of that, it's so easy. And they integrate with everything too. So whatever email tool you're using, they integrate with Lead Pages, and they also do integrations with different like paid services. So another tool I use is ThriveCart, and that's where I host one of my products. And they integrate with ThriveCart. They integrate with everything. And for anything they don't integrate with, they integrate pretty well with Zapier. So they're awesome. I would recommend them hands down. One of the big things that made me go to Lead Pages that's really cool is that they have this thing where if you click on a button, you can have someone click on a button on your website and then it makes a pop-up. And I know that may seem like, oh, that's not that big of a deal, but it is. I had a button on my website, but when people clicked on the button, it took them to another page outside of my website for them to sign up for my email newsletter. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in the middle of reading an article, I don't want to be taken out of the article to fill out a form. I'm going to go back to my article to finish reading it. And if I remember, I'm going to go and fill out the form. So when I added this button onto my site, I saw a huge increase in conversions. And at the time, there was no one else doing this. Like I can do landing pages with ConvertKit. They don't have it. I could do landing pages with like ThriveCart, which is where I have my course, and not ThriveCart, Thinkific. Thinkific is where I host my other course. They don't have it. So there's a lot of other places that have landing pages that do not have this very basic feature that makes a huge difference in your conversions. So they have some really cool things like that. And you can tell that they're very like scientific based, like they've done their research, they know it works. They have different conversion tools. You can put like a bar on top of your website to say, hey, sign up, or we have this really cool special thing happening. So yeah, I recommend them. I think they're great. Definitely check it out. And I think they have a free trial if you go through that link I just sent you. So I'm glad to hear it. I see Lurleen's here. Hey, Lurleen, glad to see you. Jacqueline said to use the checkout ability, you need to use Pro. Okay. Yeah, I'm not using that right now. So that's fine. That's fine for me not to be able to use Pro. Because I use different tools for people to check out. What I use Lead Pages for is like the place they go first, and then they check out on the other tool. Now, ThriveCart is a great tool because if you're hosting a tool, if you're hosting something there, it's one of those where you can add different things like, what do you call it? Hey, do you want to, I forgot what the exact term is for it, but if someone's going to buy something, bump, you can give a bump. So since you're buying this, how about you buy this thing as well? And what I love about ThriveCart is that it's one-time, lifetime payment. You pay for it one time and you don't have to worry about paying for it ever again. So I don't have to worry about that as a monthly fee. I love ThriveCart for that. I love them. And then you can have as many courses or products or anything you want on there. I use ThriveCart for my worksheets. So that's a good one to have if you're interested. But yeah, it has checkout ability. All that to say, it has checkout ability if you don't want to have to worry about monthly costs. So good. Nice. I just signed up. Awesome. Glad to hear it. All right. Lillian says, I finally got one of my web stories to get traction, but then it quickly died. Yeah, that sounds right. Any tips for getting a web story to take off? I tried to replicate what I did, but it just seems so random. And that's how it is. It is very random. The stories that take off for me, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is the one that took off. I wasn't expecting this to be the one, but I guess it did. And they are short-lived. I think the longest traction I saw for a web story was about 2.5 weeks. And that's when I first started with web stories. But yeah, it is very random. What I will say though about the stories is once I had my first one take off, I started seeing more of them take off. I don't know, within a week or so from each other. My best time frame, I saw like at least every week there was one story that was taken off. Sometimes there were a couple of stories that were taken off. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story there is to just keep creating web stories. You don't know what's going to take off or what's not, and it's just extra traffic for you because it does not take away from your organic traffic at all. It's a completely separate field when you're looking in Google Web Stories. So when you look at web stories, you have search. And now that you have stories, you're going to also see Discover. And that's where all your Google Web Stories traffic comes up, on Discover. And it's all extra for you. It's all great. And what I have seen though is if you are setting up your stories the same way that like I showed you guys a few months ago, that traffic goes to your original blog post. And I usually see a little bit of a spike in organic traffic in my original blog post that I created the story for as well. Now, something I've heard as a strategy that some other bloggers have used, and I haven't exactly done this. I've done this on accident. But I've seen some people who they create Google Web Stories for the same blog post over and over again. So they'll have one web story for that blog post, and then they'll do another one the next month. So that could be a strategy. I have not used it myself where you saw like, this web story for this topic took off. So I'm going to do another web story for that same, not exactly the same topic, maybe change the title, maybe focus on some different elements of the article, but still drive them to the same article. That may be a strategy to get more consistent traffic with stories. I've done that, like I said, accidentally because I didn't realize I already had a story for this article and I just did it again. But it's still different content because we're focusing on different elements in the article. But I digress. To your point, what you're seeing sounds perfectly normal and it's hit or miss. But what I will say, Lurleen, even though it seems like a little bit discouraging, because it was for me at some point too, when Google made all these changes and everybody's organic traffic was tanking, my web stories stayed pretty consistent. I still saw like every week or two, one of my web stories took off. So that didn't change at all for me with all the Google changes. So there's some security there. Jacqueline says, what do you use for checkout? So I mentioned ThriveCart is one tool I use for checkout, and that's just for one of my products. My products where I just sell something that people can, like a worksheet or whatever. I think that's a good place for ThriveCart. But I use Thinkific to host my course for checkout, so people can check out there. With ThriveCart though, you get unlimited checkout pages, and I'm looking at it right now. They actually have a free online course creator, so I could actually put my course on here and not pay Thinkific every single month, which is something I'm probably going to do. Because when I look at my expenses, a learning management system for a course, like, it's so expensive. It's one of my topics. It's my second most expensive fee I pay every month. So I would say instead of paying hundreds of dollars a month for a learning management system for checkout, I would use Thinkific. Not Thinkific, I would use ThriveCart instead. And I'm not affiliate for ThriveCart, but I'll give you the link for them anyway here because I think they're awesome. I think it's a good tool for if you're trying to sell anything for checkout. And it's a little expensive when you buy it initially, but think about it, like, you don't have to pay for it ever again when you pay that one fee for them. So here, I have Stan Store. I don't know what Stan Store is. Can you tell me more about what that is? Ernie said, I mean, should we keep posting? Almost seems like I'm wasting my time. Yeah, I can see why you would feel that way. I would, just because it's that security as far as like you're still going to get some organic traffic. You just don't know. You don't know what's going to take off and what's not. What I will say is some consistencies that I've seen. If you have any articles on your website that do well with organic traffic, I would create stories for those first because those took off. Those are more likely to take off in Google Web Stories compared to articles where they never took off for me organically. Because what I was first doing when I did web stories is I focused on my articles that made me the most money with affiliates because like I want those to take off. But the ones that took off for me were the ones that did well organically. So I would try that. And that should help because it's still on Google, even though they don't treat them exactly the same. SEO does matter when it comes to web stories. Good question. So yes, you should use different keywords. Yeah. Oh yeah, for the same blog post. Yeah. So you never want to use the same keyword for any blog post on your site. That's for sure. Or yeah, just use the same keyword in general for different blog posts on your site because you're going to be competing with yourself when it comes to search. So good. Keep it up, though, Lurleen. You're going to get it. How many sessions should we have before we apply for Amazon affiliates? Apply now. Yeah, apply now. I wouldn't wait on that. Here's the thing about affiliates. It doesn't matter how much traffic you get for affiliates. You can start making money right now. It's just a matter of getting the right traffic. So I'm a big fan of, if you're going to create some affiliate content, make sure that content is SEO proof. Like you've done your keyword research prior. I usually like to do a keyword research on that specific product to see if it's worth my time to even promote it. Something cool, if you have Rank IQ, I just found this out recently and it's pretty awesome. So Rank IQ, I know I've talked about it before, but what they have now is when you log into Rank IQ, here, I'm going to give you guys a link for Rank IQ. When you log into Rank IQ, they have a list of different keywords that you can search for. And they have a number of different criteria you can filter through for your search. Well, one criteria I looked at, I just found this out like today, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'm going to do this all the time now. One criteria you can search for when you are in Rank IQ, hold on, I'm going to pull it up so that I can see exactly what it's called for. But I was looking for something where I can find intent, because intent is very important when it comes to keywords. Like this keyword can do really well for you to get traffic to your site. But if you're getting a bunch of people who are just looking for information, they're not looking to buy something, then that's probably not a good keyword for you to expect to get money, even though you're sending a bunch of traffic to your website. So that is something that you want to be mindful of when it comes to doing keyword research for an affiliate article. So what it's called keyword type. Keyword type is what it's called. Here, I'm going to share my screen and show you guys really quick what this looks like in Rank IQ. Here we go. All right. Oh, that's wrong, Rank IQ. Okay. If you go to my keywords, okay, and no, I want to go to keyword library. So this is all the keywords you can go to for Rank IQ. And like I said, you can search from different things. So you can go by competition, you can go by time to rank. I always go by ultra fast or very fast because, I mean, it just makes sense to do that so that you're not missing out on anything. But something I just discovered today was keyword type. And this is amazing because these are the types of keywords that will make sure that your affiliates are being purchased. So one thing I like to look for is best. So you can look for the keyword best, anything keywords that have like best, whatever. And I can go through these and figure out where are people spending money. For example, best $10 wine. Yeah, they're going to spend money. If you have a wine affiliate, you need to write that article yesterday. And there's some other ones here that may not be great for you to like do an affiliate article for. Like this one says best 1,000 yard scope under $500. If they have anything where they're asking for like a price in the title, they're going to buy something. But there are some where like, here's one, best 10-day diet. They're looking for a diet, which means that they could be interested in some diet products, but they're not specifically looking to buy something right now. So that one can be a little bit more iffy. Now, I like best, but I also like comparisons, because comparisons is another one where people are looking to buy something. They are so far in their buying process, they've narrowed it down to 2 different things, and they're trying to decide which of those 2 things. Oh, I have a bunch of balloons for some reason. Don't know why, but they've narrowed it down to two different things and they're going to buy one of the two. So I like this because you can now look at, all right, what are they going to, one of these are they're going to buy, and I'm going to be an affiliate for at least one of them, if not two. So I just made an ultra fast versus, and here's one, 15-inch laptop versus 17. They're going to buy a laptop. But it sounds like they've already decided which laptop they want. So that's probably a gamble because you don't know which laptop they've already decided on. They're just asking for the size. This is not a good keyword I would go for if I'm trying to do an affiliate. 18 shakes versus Shakeology. If you're an affiliate for Shakeology or 18 shakes, preferably both, this is a good article that can make you some money. Let me see here. 260 Remington versus 7mm. So they're looking at different guns. If you sell guns on your website, that could be a good article for you to do that. Now, I think if you sell guns that you are automatically disqualified from Google ads, and therefore you don't qualify for Mediavine. So be wary of those types of things. You don't want to post stuff about guns and violence and casinos. And I can't remember what else, but there's some criteria that Google says don't post about these things if you want advertising ads on your site. But anyway, that was just an example to show you why intent matters. And when it comes to writing good like affiliates, I put Amazon affiliates in most of my content, and they're usually lists. So I find keywords like this, especially if it's a list article, like best 10 razors for women or whatever, and I do pretty well. I make money every single day on Amazon affiliates. Now, what I will say about Amazon, even though they're awesome because one, everyone spends money on there, they have a 24-hour cookie. Well, that's why it's picking up my hand gestures. There's a 24-hour cookie. So if I click on a link on your website on a pencil, and I don't buy that pencil, but I buy a lounge chair within the next 24 hours, you're going to get a commission for the lounge chair, not the pencil. But it's only for 24 hours. The other thing that's kind of infuriating about Amazon is that they pay you such a small amount of money. Yeah, they pay you like 1%, 4%, and it could be on stuff that's like, it was only $20. So you're not making a whole lot of money there. But where I think people who do really well on Amazon make most of their money is they sell high priced products. I've seen a lot of success with writing articles about laptops, for example, or they just do a ton of different articles, like they're posting all the time. And for a lot of them, it's both. So yeah, that's where you can see some success on Amazon affiliates. I think you can sign up right now. I don't think you'll have an issue with that. And yeah, let me say, I was referring to web stories. Oh, you're saying like you would put Amazon affiliates on web stories? You could, yeah. If you are an Amazon affiliate, then yeah. If it's an article that, like I said, a list article that I've written that has affiliates in it, I put the affiliates on my web stories. I'll share my link to you again so you can have that to look at my web stories if you want to just investigate like how they're set up. But every single page that, like for a list article, I have it so people can click through and buy whatever the heck I'm promoting in that article. So here, I'm going to pull up one of my web stories here and share it with you guys. Here. So this is a web story that I have on my site. And this is just the best hiking shoes in Costa Rica. So I have one of the shoes, and then when they click on the link, it takes them to the actual Amazon link. And then, I mean, of course, they can click on the full article on any of these pages as well, because that's the call to action for the bottom. And then, of course, they go to the full article at the end. So yeah, you can definitely start doing affiliates for your stories right now. Hopefully I answered the question regarding the keywords. Yes, I know what you meant. And here's the thing with web stories, when it comes to keywords, web stories are still pieces of content on your website. So you will still be competing with yourself if you have a keyword for like lime on this article, and you have a keyword for lime on the web story. So you do need to have different keywords for both. Let's see here. Standstore. So Jacqueline says Standstore makes it easy to link your products to your social media, and it's got a checkout, but it's a monthly fee. See, I don't know anything about this Standstore. I'm gonna have to check it out, Jacqueline. Thanks for recommending it. I'm gonna see what it's all about. I don't like doing the monthly fees. Like, I don't mind doing the monthly fees, but as you can see, they add up really quickly, especially when you're just, trying to keep the prices low. And I feel like these tools it's just like you checking out on their website, they cost so much money. And sometimes they even charge a fee. They even charge you a fee and you're paying transaction fees in a month. Oh, this one doesn't have transaction fees. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to know. Something I do like about Thrivecart is once you get in there, you realize that you've been on this before, because a lot of people use Thrivecart, and I think it's because of their pricing strategy. So let me see. You get a lifetime account. You only pay once. They have dashboards. You could do funnels and things, so that's nice. You have unlimited checkout pages, so however many courses or tool or products you want to put in there, that's perfectly fine. Let me see here. They have a free online course creator, and they're gonna have great customer support. So yeah, I like it a lot. I like Thrivecart for that reason. But yeah, this one seems cool too. Standstore. I'm gonna check it out. They have a free trial. Thanks for sharing. I learned about a new tool today. Lily said, no, I'm in keywords from above. We can create web stories using different keywords in the same blog post. We are on the same page. All right, let's see if it does that thumb up thing on my video again. I think it's picking up on my hand motion. Yes, we're on the same page, Lorraine. Yeah, I think you're still going to see some success with your web stories. You just keep doing what you're doing. They're not always going to be hits. But something I've noticed too with web stories is like, I'll publish a web story today, and then that web story doesn't like take off until like 3 weeks later. So you never know when one is going to hit. It doesn't mean just because you publish it, it's going to take off right now. Sometimes they're a little bit delayed. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. If you want to like cut back on how many you're doing, that may help. So you don't feel like you're wasting your time, but I think it helps. And it counts as content that's going out on your website. So even if you're not publishing a blog post that week, that still counts as content being published on your site. So that's another benefit I like about web stories. Let's say if you publish on like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it may be good to do web stories on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or something to offset. If I'm not publishing a blog post on this day, I'm still getting some content out on my site. Yeah. So, that's interesting about the delay of success. Yeah. I have yet to have one that took off like immediately. This got published and now it took off. No, it's at the very earliest, I've seen like a week later that story will take off. So who knows? You may see more success. Does it really count as published? Yes. I didn't know this either, Lurleen, until like how I just showed you. If you go to your website and then put in /web stories, and that page automatically exists on your site with all of your web stories. So every single web story is a different page. And I found this out because when I was doing my site links, I noticed that it had a whole new section for web stories. I'm like, what is this? And that's because it created a new page for web stories, and every single web story you create is a new page on your site. So food for thought, and it still counts as published content. Huh. So yeah, so does that ensure that our site is like active? Yeah. Now, here's the only other thing too, because our sites aren't really built for web stories. And one of Google's recommendations, which you take with a grain of salt, one of the recommendations is your web stories page, you should put it on your homepage. And I did it more so just because I wanted to be able to do stuff like how I just showed you guys one of my web stories easily. I just put it at the top of my categories. So I put Google Web Stories, and someone can get to all of my web stories from the homepage right then and there. So yeah, that may be something else you can try out, putting the Google Web Stories page in your categories. so that you can access them all from there. And the other people can get to them as well. It's a nice sticky place for people to see more of your content. Man, really good questions. I felt like we were having two different conversations just now between different cart websites and then web stories. But I loved it. I thought it was all really good conversation. So keep them coming, guys. Please continue to ask me more questions as they come up. What I was talking about before we jumped into those questions was about some of the things I noticed when it came to auditing my site. Something else you want to be mindful of is there a tool I have that does this function now that didn't do this function before? Oops, little bug. And that was one of the reasons why I cut another tool of mine. So one tool that I use is Adobe. I use Adobe Acrobat and I pay every month for that. And the reason why is because I have a media kit that I am actively updating. So I update my media kit every month. And I am pitching brands every month who want to work with us. So I can reach out to them, they reach out to me, and I make sure I have a nice active media kit. I update it every month because I want to make sure that my social media stats are accurate. I want to make sure my website stats are accurate. So I'm pretty much just updating those things there. Of course, my media kit is a PDF. So I would use Adobe Acrobat to go in, make those changes in Adobe Acrobat to my PDF, and then we make sure that it goes out to any brands that we pitch. Well, since I signed up for Adobe Acrobat, Canva has come a very long way. Now, is Canva worth it to pay for the Pro? It's worth every freaking cent. And I have so many stories for why Pro Canva is like one of the best investments you can make. I pay the annual fee for it. I think it's like $100 a year. And that's how you get the cheapest amount rather than paying monthly for it. But I digress. Canva is worth every freaking penny because one, you pretty much get access to a bunch of like Shutterstock images, which is something that we used to have to go to different royalty-free websites to get. And you can still do that too, but I just get everything from Canva. But something that Canva has changed, I mean, Canva's changed a lot in the last couple of years, but one thing that they changed recently is they're not just like a place where you create social media images anymore. Like you can put together full-blown PowerPoint presentations. They have templates for media kits. I mean, they have everything there. And it's not just like, oh, I created my media kit here and now, you know, I download it and I can't come back to it. We just go and change our media kit in Canva now. So I don't really need to export it into Adobe, make changes, and then send it out. I'm already paying for Canva, and this is another use for it. And the only reason I had Adobe was to update my media kit. And I use it for other things too that's not related to my blog. But the Pro subscription for Canva is like amazing. So I just posted my affiliate link for Canva there if you want to check it out. Anyway, and I think you get a month of it for free for the Pro version. So I highly recommend Canva. Since we can update our media kits in Canva now, there's no need for us to pay for Adobe Acrobat. So I just completely removed that expense because we don't need it. I mean, it's a nice to have, but we have another tool that does the same thing. And this is why I still need to go through my audit because Canva has changed a lot. Freaking ConvertKit has changed a lot. And they have so many other features that can overlap with some of the things that I'm already doing. So this is why you go through this audit, not just to see what am I paying, am I actually using the different tools, but look through those tools, see what new things they've added since, and go from there. Something else that ConvertKit has recently added, which I think is amazing. We were talking about different like shopping cart deals. ConvertKit will now let you, if you have like a paid newsletter, ConvertKit will set it up so that you have a landing page, people can sign up for it, and they can pay you in ConvertKit. So you don't even need a different tool if you are doing like a paid newsletter or something related to email where you're selling. ConvertKit will get that going for you. And even if you have like something that's not related to email, you can use ConvertKit as well to be a checkout place for you. Now, I haven't done all my collecting them, and I need to go through and see all the stuff I have set up and what could be done easier. But I think there's a very strong possibility I'm going to move from paying a monthly fee with Thinkific to just using tools like Canva and ThriveCard, because then I don't have, I'm not Canva, ConvertKit and ThriveCard, because then I don't have to pay a monthly fee for Thinkific as well. So I have a little Excel sheet I started putting together to go through all the different features of each of the tools I'm using and seeing if there's some overlap. Because when I first signed up for these things, there wasn't overlap. Canva is for my social media images. ConvertKit is for my emails. ThriveCart is for these specific kinds of things. And all these tools have changed, and they change rapidly. So yeah, those are just some of the things I wanted to go over with you guys for why it's important to do an audit on the tools that you're using, because they may not be needed anymore. They may not be useful anymore. And they may have different features that cover something else that you were paying for that you don't need to pay for anymore. So when you're going through your websites this year and you're going through like, what did I achieve? What did I accomplish? What do I want to do next year? Don't forget to audit your site as well. Audit what you're spending money on. Audit where you're spending your time too. Lurleen brought up a good point earlier when she said, I feel like I'm wasting my time with Google Web Stories, because honestly, there's so many other things that we need to do as bloggers. Maybe if it comes down to it, where is your money coming in? Where are the highest opportunities for you to make the most money? That's where your time should go, at least for now, until you can learn how to put it on autopilot. So that's what I would say when it comes to going over your blogs this year. And definitely, if you weren't already planning to do this, spend some time in January figuring out what you want to do for your blog and how you want to grow it. A question I have for you guys: would you be interested in a mastermind type of session where we spent time talking through our blogs and deciding how we want to do things for the year? What are we going to focus on? And maybe even like talking through what should your priorities be for the year? Is that something you would be interested in? And if so, what does that format look like? So go ahead and post that in the comments, or post it in the comment later. That's my question I have for anyone who watches this later on. Is that something you'd be interested in? January is probably one of my favorite months because I'm an A-type personality. I love planning. I love having goals. And that's the perfect time to like get those things going when you're starting a brand new year. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Let's see here. Let me say thank you. I may have to get it. Oh wait, I have some other ones. So Jacqueline said, my blog now selected and it's part of the top 100 mom blogs on FeedSpot. Yay, congratulations. Do you think it's worthwhile to sign up for the subscription features? No, I don't think so. I've not done it. I've not signed up for the subscription features, but you have the backlink now. FeedSpot has a really good domain authority. And now that your website's there, you're going to have a better domain authority too. So good job being a part of the top moms on the top mom blogs on FeedSpot. I wouldn't sign up for the subscription features because, again, like, we don't want to spend money on things we don't need. You already have the backlink. If you want to spend money on something, I would spend time and money on getting backlinks back to your site from other websites that have a high domain authority, whether that be being put into a different blog list, or finding ways for you to guest post on other bloggers that have a higher domain authority than yours, or writing articles for some of the big sites like Huffington Post, BuzzFeed. They all have like different ways where you can guest write for those places. You can pitch an idea, or you can use tools like Haro. Haro's one where it's like different like journalists looking for people with expertise in certain things. Another one is Quoted with QWOTED. And you could just talk to journalists who are saying like, hey, I need someone who is a parenting blogger to give me a quote on what's it like to be a parent in the new age or whatever. And that's a really, really good way. That's probably one of the best ways you can build your domain authority. Being featured on FeedSpot is great for clout because that's awesome. But also the big one here is you are going to see an increase in your domain authority. So just keep doing that. Backlinking is important. Thanks for that, Jacqueline. Okay. How will they know that we pay for Canva when we post a Shutterstock pic on our blog? So you don't have to call out who the author is or anything like that. But I did have a situation where someone emailed me from one of those like copy stock places, like, hey, we're a legal team. This person thinks that you took this article without giving proper credit, and you need to pay us either $500 or we're going to sue you for like $50,000. And this is like the biggest scam because they always focus on like images from like 6 years ago. Like, I'm not going to find this image from 6 years ago, even if I did purchase it on Shutterstock. But they say if you chose the license that you bought it, then you don't have a problem. Well, I freaked out because I'm like, I get all my images from Canva now. So I went to Canva support and I told them what's happening. I told them about the author of the picture. I told them I couldn't find the picture anymore because it was 6 freaking years ago and I'm not going to find it on Canva. And they're like, don't worry. We saw that you were a paid subscriber then. And we found the image because I sent them a screenshot of what the image looked like. And I said, just tell them you got it on Canva and you're good. I went to them and said, hey, I got it on Canva. They said, okay. And they left me alone. So apparently you should have a license when it's going through Canva. But yeah, if it's on Canva, you're safe. Long story short. So you should be okay. Jacqueline said, yes, please. Awesome. All right. So that's one vote for doing a planning session in January. Thank you for your vote, Jacqueline. I appreciate that. Let's see here. So what should we be focusing on? Oh man, that is a subjective question. It really depends on your blog. So, where's your blog thriving? Are you doing great with SEO where you're getting some really good organic traffic every single month? Are you doing good where you had some really big climbs with your domain authority and you have a nice process in place to continue to grow your domain authority? Are you bringing in sufficient income with a specific avenue and you want to switch to doing a different avenue? Or do you want to focus more on that avenue that's making you money so you can make more money with it? I don't know. It really just depends. And then the other part too is you want to be mindful of what's happening with everyone. So one of the big things that has happened in the last year that has been huge in the blogging community is Google. Google has made so many different changes. Some of them were happening at the same time that has screwed multiple bloggers. So now what a lot of people are saying, even though SEO is still important, it's always going to be important. But even the SEO experts are like, I don't know what Google's doing. I don't know if like what we're doing today is going to work tomorrow. I don't understand why some people are falling from grace, even though they follow all the rules to a T that Google told them to do. So people are focusing on other things. And some of the big things people are focusing on are TikTok, because it's still fairly new and it's fairly easy for you to get traffic on TikTok pretty rapidly. And the other one is going back to Pinterest. Pinterest was something that everyone was frowning on just this year because they're like, just go to Google. Pinterest, like they changed too much stuff. It's too hard now. But now people are going back to Pinterest because a lot of the people who saw their traffic didn't change all that much was because they were also getting traffic from Pinterest. So if you don't already get organic traffic from Pinterest, now may be a good time to revisit that and find out how you can drive more traffic. So those are just some examples, just thinking about trends in industry that you may want to consider. But to be quite honest, it really just depends on your blog. What do you think is working? What's not? And figuring out how do you want to focus your time. So I think that's a really good question, Marlene, and a good one you should ponder on and take some notes. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see this note. Pinterest is apparently making a comeback, so I'm going to focus on that starting in Jan. It is making a comeback, and it's making a comeback because Google is like screwing people left and right. So I think that's really good. That's a really good strategy. I just found a great course to take. Nice. That's the way to do it. If you send me your Making Sense Affiliate Marketing affiliate, I'll sign up for that too. Oh yeah, I do have that, and I'll put that in the chat here because that is a really good affiliate. A really good affiliate course that I took, and she made it years ago, but I recently redid the course and I made a bunch of money. So it still works. Her strategies make sense. So I'll grab that for you so you have it. And thank you for mentioning that because yeah, I like to get paid for my affiliates. I'll get that for you. I'm just gonna make a note real quick so I don't forget. Making sense. Because I want to get to everyone's questions before we head out today. How do you spell that? I think you're talking about quoted. And for quoted, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. There we go. Let me know if that's not what you're talking about, Jacqueline. But that's how you spell quoted. It's a really good tool for you to get more traffic. Let's see here. Yeah, I know deposit photos, we have to post the author underneath the photos. Yeah, you have to do that with Canva. You're good. They have a license they're keeping track of. Oh yeah, whenever you post free pics, because that's what you're paying for. Like, I mean, it's free, so of course they want credit for the images you're posting. So if you're paying for the images through Canva, you don't have to worry about posting credit for that. So I think that's a really good question. What is the best ratio for outbound clicks on Pinterest? I don't know if there's an exact ratio for outbound clicks. Honestly, like the only ratio I look at is outbound clicks. I don't care how many people looked at my stuff on Pinterest if they didn't go to my blog. Because the only reason I'm posting it is so they can go to my dang blog. That's one issue I have with Pinterest because they want people to spend more time there. So yeah, I say as much traffic as you can get to your website from Pinterest, the better. And yes, that's what I do. Yay! Definitely says yes. Thank you. Awesome. Lorena says thank you. Okay. So yeah, this was a really good session as per usual. I really enjoyed chatting with you guys. Thanks so much for all the people who has made it to multiple Q&As with me this year. 2 of you are here now. So thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to think more about this planning session in January because I think it's a good idea. And I think that's a good time for us to really think through, like your question you asked, Literally, what should I be focused on this year? And I think having space for that where you can just talk openly with other bloggers and let's just give it to the group. What do you think Lurleen should be focused on? You give us a little spiel on here's what I worked on, here's what worked, here's what didn't. And from there, we can kind of come up with a consensus of what we think you should be working on. And of course, you could take it with a grain of salt, but I think that it's a worthy exercise for sure. And just to give you an idea of what other people are thinking of, what their specialties are, what they're good at, what they're not good at. But yeah, I know we have some really good minds that have been on this Q&A, and I can already tell by the questions that you guys asked that you already know more. You know so much about blogging already. Yeah, y'all are definitely getting to that more advanced realm. So I think that's the next stage is actually having masterminds and talking with other bloggers on your level and figuring out where should we be going? What are some things that we should be focused on this year? So really good questions again. I'm going to post a link to Making Sense of Affiliate Marketing course here shortly after I jump off. But thanks again, everyone. I really appreciate all of your time. Have a really good holiday in the new year, and I will see you guys in 2024. So bye, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next year.